I hope you guys are able to create the GitHub account. Any difficulties or any help required from my end?
Able to create, sir. No issues as from my end, sir. Things are fine.
How about the generating the key, adding the key in the GitHub for cloning the repository? Like we cloned the repository yesterday, correct? For doing
I
that.
created only this one account only. I yet to go ahead and do that. This one, creating the repository and cloning. I had to do it.
No worries. cd space GitHub repo 6 p.m. Under this I can see the repository. Let me get inside the repository like this. Okay, and make sure it's reflecting master here. That means you are in the branch called master. You are in the branch called master. So right now if I do ls, I can only see one file, that's readme.md file. Who created this file? Like this file we created in the GitHub, and when you download the repository yesterday, right, we cloned the repository, right? That moment it was downloaded to local as well. So now we'll practice some of the basic git commands. Git space clone command we aware about yesterday. Clone nothing but clone command will use to download the repository from online to local. That's we did already. Next, git config hyphen list. This will going to give us more information about your Git. After you clone the repository, you can get into the folder ls, get inside this folder, then you can do ls for we can check the files, then post that you can do git config hyphen list. You need to configure your username and email address, correct? So for that we'll use a command I put up my email address here. You can change it to your email address. Where we need to perform this once means you need to perform this on the git bash. Remember guys, you need to open the git bash and to execute this particular commands. Now I set up username and password for this particular repository in the git. In case you want to see particular value, what I given, git config user at name. Then git config user at email. This will show the email. Git config code editor, another one. I didn't set the editor, so nothing is reflecting. By default, it will take vi athwa nano. This is the two addresses there in the Linux. Vi is the default editor. It will take as a reference. Git will take vi is the default editor. Okay, those are the basic portions. Okay. Here you guys can see there is a folder called .git folder will be there. That folder, it's there. We can check that folder. So this will create a directory with the .git folder inside subdirectory that contains all necessary repository files will be there in that. And also at this point nothing is tracked yet. Okay, let me show that. How to check the hidden files? What command will use to check the hidden files?
ls hyphen la la hyphen a, sorry, hyphen a.
You guys can see the folder called .git, but we never created this file or this folder. When we clone the repository, right, that time this folder automatically came. What is there in this folder? Like this, there are more information will be there to work the Git. For working Git properly, this type of settings should be there. Those the settings are mentioned here. Okay. Cloning an existing repository. If you want to get a copy of an existing Git repository or the directory, for example, a project you would like to contribute to, the command you need is git clone command. Like we type the git clone command and git clone space URL. What is this URL? This URL is the GitHub, the SSH URL. The SSH URL you can copy and you can paste under here so that the repository will be cloned. This creates a directory named libgit2, initializes a .git directory. Inside it, it pulls down all the data from the repository and checks out a working copy of the latest version. Remember guys, there are three sections are there in the Git. Let me go through that. This take us to the three main sections that we have in the Git. First one is working tree. Is a single checkout of one version that of the project. These files are pulled from the compressed database in the Git directory and placed on the disk for you. Remember guys, this is the place only we'll be creating a files. Like where you gonna keep the files. Creating the files means when you create the file first time, that file will be in a working directory only or the working tray only. The next will be staging area. Second part is a file generally contained in your Git directory that stores the information about what will be go in your next commit. Okay, that means working tree is the first guy, middle guy is staging area, then last one Git directory or Git local directory or Git committed area. The different names we'll call it as, but the function will be same only. So Git directory is where Git stores the metadata and object database in your project. This is the most important part of the Git, and it is what copied when you clone a local repository from the another computer. Like if you clone the repository from different place, so from taking the reference of Git directory only, it will work. Remember guys, one more time I'm telling. Working tree is the place where you're going to create, modify the files. Staging area is a middle guy, which will going to save the changes what you made. Then Git local directory is a repository. If you guys recall DVCS, distributed version control system, there could be a local repository will be there and there could be central repository will be there. The data whatever you wrote down in your local laptop, it will be stored in the local repository, right? The Git local directory is a local repository. Make sure, guys. Working directory, staging area, Git local directory, the .git directory. Now we clone the project, stage the fixes, nothing but we created some files and we added them to the staging area. Then we do the commit. Below is how the Git workflows goes. You can modify the files in your working area. You selectively stage just those changes you want to be part of your next commit, which adds only those changes to the staging area. So you do commit which takes the files as they are in the staging area and stores that snapshot permanently to your Git repository. Getting help. If you ever need any help when using Git, there are three ways to get the help information on any of the Git commands. Git help, Git verb hyphen help, man space Git space verb, Git help config, like anything can be used to take the help. These commands are nice because you can access from anywhere, even with when you're on offline. Nothing but internet is not required for this particular commands. If this information is not enough, so you can try with the hash git or hash github channel on the free code IRC server, which can be found in https freaknode.net. So three sections we aware about. Now, what are the three states? What are three states? What is the significance of the three states? Why do we require the three states? Those we'll discuss. Git has three different states that you file can reside in. One is modified state, means that you have changed the file but you have not committed to your database set. This is the first one. Like files already created, you stored the files in the central repository. But if at all you modified, added some data, then the files become a modified files. Then we have a staged, means that you have marked the file, modified file and its current version to go to the next commit snapshot, that is staged. Last one, committed. So means that data is safely stored in your local database. That is the option of this committed. Then recording changes to the repository, nothing but in the repository if you made any changes, right? How do you store them? At this point, we have created the repository and check out of all the files in front of you. So now you can start making changes and Git will record the changes. Each file in your Git directory can be either tracked or maybe untracked files. Tracked files are the files Git knows about that, but they can be modified, unmodified, or staged. The state will be okay. Everything else are the unmatched files or the untracked files. I'll look at untracked, unmodified, modified, staged. So untracked file, if you add the file, it will come to the staged. Now edit the file, then stage the file, remove the file, commit the file. Like this, there's a life cycle of the files. Checking the status of your files. How to check the file status? To
Will you go
determine
back to the previous slide, sir, one more time?
the diagram one.
Yes, sir, diagram, sir, yeah.
1 minute. So
Yeah, this one, yeah.
this is another one. Hmm. Untracked, unmodified, modified, staged. Now, when you create the file, that file will be in an untracked list. Remember, guys, tracking, untracking, opposite word is correct. Tracking means you know. Untracked, nothing but you don't know. When you create the file, Git don't know about the file. So then you use some commands to make Git to know about this particular file. Then, then after Git knows about the file, you did the modification. Before modifying, it's unmodified. You modified that, then it will be a modified file. Then after that, you save the file. That's a stage the file. Then remove the file. For example, you didn't modify the file, you don't want the file. You remove that. That's a remove file. Then post that you can commit nothing but save. Okay. Any questions on this?
So this is the life cycle of one file from
One file. How it will resides in your repository. This will talk about the progress.
Okay. So if we make any changes, then what will be the state? If we make any other changes, what will be the state? So at that entire cycle, right?
Your files must and should be within these stages only. Without this stage, your file could not reside any place.
Okay.
This is a perfect place to store your files.
Okay, but what one doubt is like these arrow marks are what exactly they are indicating, why they are not in order.
It's not been order case. I'll tell you why. So because moving arrow mark, you can see it's a moving arrow mark, right? This arrow mark represents still everything you're doing in local. Okay, you're saving this on the GitHub. So first you create a file. That's the reason we have the big arrow mark will be there. Once you created the file, once you save the file, once the file will be stored in the GitHub. Then again you modify the file, that is edit the file, correct? Then after editing the file, you modify the file, that file become a modified state. Then you're going to stage the file, stage means saving the file. But I'll show it a practical, then you'll get to know how the life cycle will work. Okay.
Okay.
To determine which state your files are in, you can run the command called git status command. This command will tell you if the files are tracked files or untracked files. It will also tell you which branch you are in also. Like already shown, right? It's reflecting as a master, so that means you're in a master branch. So let's add a new file and rerun the command. Then we're going to see how the status will be going to be changed. Now you see that files are untracked. Untracked means Git is able to see a file, but it's not part of any of the previous commits. Git will not include these files unless you explicitly do so. Okay. Before going for tracking new files, let me give you some context about the practical aspects. Okay. Right now I'm in the repository, guys. So I will run the command called git status command. Font size is okay or need to be increased?
Yeah, it's fine.
So first time I run the git status command, what is saying on branch master, your branch is up to date with the origin bar master. Nothing to commit, working tree is clean. So remember guys, your branch is up to date with the origin bar master. What is this origin? Nothing but this is pointing to central repository, that is GitHub. So that means it's doing a differentiation between your local laptop with the GitHub server. GitHub is an online repository, the central repository. Local is laptop is the local repository, right? It's comparing local repository with the central repository. Okay. Let me create some files. Echo. I have created a file with the name called abc.txt. Okay, file is there. One more file also I'll create. Now, if I do ls, total 3 files are reflecting. 2 files which I'm created today. Let me run the git status command. Then you guys will get to know. Can you guys able to see the files? The files which I am created today. For creating files, I'll use echo command. Any command can be used. For creating files, we have multiple commands are there, right? Any of the command can be used. Okay. We heard the one of the word when you're discussing the theory, that is untracked files. Correct, guys? As part of the theory, we discussed about the word called untracked files. Okay. What is this meaning of untracked files? Nothing but simply you think untracked files means the files which are there in the working tree. Remember, guys, untracked means the files which are there in the working tree, first one. And also files always will be in a red color only. Color you can see, right? The files will be in a red color. In only in working tree only the files will be in a red color. So make sure untracked files nothing but working tree. Also okay. Now look at, guys. Next what we need to do? They'll only suggest us. They will only give a hint to what we need to do next. So I created the files. That files will be untracked. Now I need to save these files. For saving that, or else we need to make Git to understand about these files. That is called as a staging area. We need to inform to the staging area. How to inform means that's a tracking a new files. In order to begin tracking a new file, you can use a command called git add command. Git space add space file name. If multiple files are there, multiple file names you can give. If you run the git status command again, you will see the file now tracked and staged to be committed. And also you can see the heading called stage to be committed. You can tell that the file is staged because it is under the changes to be committed heading. Let me see. If we commit at this point, the version of the file that time can be take as git add is the what will be in the subsequent snapshots. Okay. Add. We can give the file name. My file name is abc.txt one file name and ravi.txt another file name. Now both the files added. Now if you run the git status command again, look at, if we can see the heading called changes to be committed. That means you can conclude staging area. The files you are stored in the staging area, it should be in a green color. With a tag called new. You able to see, guys? See, new file green color. Next, Next, short status. Like these files we can able to view with the short status also. I'll gonna show that how the short status will work. Before that, before going for a short status, let me complete this one. Now the files is created and saved, but we need to upload that. Before uploading, we need to type the command git commit -m. Here we need to mention the comment. Remember, commit is nothing but storing the files in the local repository securely. So for that, we need to give the message. What message you need to give? For example, you created the files, right? You're saving the files, right? What is the significance of these files? Because you know that you only created the repo, you only updated the files. You know that what exactly these files will do, what data will be there, what is the purpose of this repository, you are aware about. But many of your team members also using the same repository, right? Then how they'll get to know what is the purpose of the files you created? Correct. For that's the reason, if you update comment, reading the comment, they'll understand that the purpose of the files. I wrote that git commit -m created these files for understanding the stages. Done. Now it was committed. This is the commit message. Like you guys are aware about, we are talking about the word called VCS, version control system. This will going to keep track of the versions. Okay, now the first version is created. After you run the git commit command, right? Now the first version has been created. It's a backup. Any questions, guys?
But if we commit again, it will be showing in another version, sir.
No, it won't show anything. Again, I'm committing. See what is saying? On branch master, your branch is ahead. It's not showing anything because only one time only it will commit take. Even if you run the multiple times the same command, nothing will change.
Like if we create another file and again we committed,
Then that's
it will.
the second commit. That's a different commit. First commit for these files. Okay. In case you want to create one more commit, means you make the changes and you can commit that. There's a second save, second snapshot will be created for that. So you can feel this number is right. This is the snapshot. There's a backup. This will only contains the information. Okay. Any questions? Are we good? Then, so far, whatever the activities I did, right? This everything will be in local laptop only. Now, if I run the command git push, this will take you to the central. This will take to the central. Remember, guys, so far, whatever we did, except git clone command, except git clone. So far, whatever we did, right? This everything internet is not required. But for pushing, pulling, cloning, for these three only internet is required. Remember, guys. I run the git push command. My changes are published to the central now. If you see this word, your branch is ahead with one commit. That means you decide that you are in committed area. Clear, guys? Any questions?
So when we require internet, sir, come back about that one more time, please. While
Uh,
pushing, while cloning, and then third one.
pull.
Okay, okay,
Pull we didn't done so far. I'll show that pull also how it works. Okay.
okay, okay, okay.
Now the file is pushed right. Now we'll verify where is our file. Where is our file? Yesterday we created the repository, right? The repository name is something Jan or something we given. This one. Now the file which I created in local. See, those are uploaded when 4 minutes ago. Can you guys able to see that? Where I created these files in my local laptop. So after I run the push command, right, these files are came to online. Clear, guys?
So shall we use command history also no, over here?
We can history also then use. I'll show that in upcoming class what how to use a history.
Okay.
So what is your day-to-day activities in the Git related means you writing any code or any files you're creating in the local laptop, and when you run the git push command that will take you to the repository. That's your work.
So we are not writing the codes, no? Codes will be written by developers, correct?
Not the codes like we used to write a scripts, right?
You mean
Like
to say shell scripts,
shell
for
script
example?
or maybe some configuration files. Kind of some of the automation we used to do that as part of the DevOps.
Mm-hmm.
So for those, we used to keep it in here. That's what the automation, right? We
Yeah.
used to discuss the word CI/CD in upcoming class. The CI/CD meaning will be automation only.
Okay, sir. Got it.
So now we have one more option also there. If you wrote the code in your local laptop, maybe desktop download somewhere you put up, we can upload those files as well. Okay, how means? Can you guys see the option called add file is there here? Before the code, green color option, add files are there. Here, create a new file, upload files. Two options are there. What I'll do means, I'll create one file here in the central, then I'll upload one file. So then later I'm gonna show how to pull these changes from central to local. I'll show that. Okay. First I'm creating the file. I'll create a file with a sample.sh the file name. I'll write some simple shell script. Okay, I wrote some basic script. Okay.
Sorry, I think you have forgotten to complete the quotes in last line.
So here.
Yeah.
Then I can do commit the changes, commit. Now one more file I'll upload. Add file is there, upload files. I'll upload some files from local laptop. Now let me commit the changes. Okay, total how many files are there? Total 5 files are there in the GitHub, correct? But in local, 3 files only there. Local 3 files, but online having 5 files. But now tell me, how do you get these files from online to local? What command we're gonna use to download from online to local?
Full command.
Full command. Git space full if you run, but this is required internet. See, the file has been downloaded. If I run this again, see, 5 files are came. Count is correct, right?
Yes, sir.
That's about the file operations. Okay. Any questions on this? If no questions, I'll proceed.
Sir, it's showing 5 files. Sir. Will you show that one more time?
Yeah, it's 5 files only.
I think it's not getting printed in chat.
Yeah,
Chat.
here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, got it.
Next, we'll do one thing. If I run the git status command, already uploaded is getting up, correct? Now I'll do one thing. Echo I'm again modifying the files. Now guys, we run the command called git status command. Able to see guys? Files are modified state. Okay. And I'll create one more file. Suresh.txt. This is a new file, not the old file. This is a new file. Maybe I'll give py or maybe txt only. And one more file I'll create. Echo hello comma world. These are the two new files. Earlier I edited the existing files, but now I created the new files. So now you do git status command. Able to see, guys? Two files, untracked files. Two files are reflecting changes not staged for commit. Am I correct? These two are modified state. These two are the new files. These two are the new files. While the git status output is pretty comprehensive and it is also very wordy. While the git status output is pretty comprehensive and it is also very wordy. Wordy nothing but more detailed output it will show. Git also has a short status flag to see your changes in a more compact way. Compact way means simple way. If you run the command called get status -s or get status -f short, you get a far more simplified output. Simplified means very small output will get. Possible outputs will be double question mark you will get. That means files are not tracked. Or untracked files only will get double question mark. Then capital A will get. That means files have been added to the staging area. M will get files that are modified. M will get files that are staged and modified. Okay, let me show the output now. Able to see, guys? The standard output is getting up. Simplified output. Now think about this, guys. M nothing but modified. M nothing but modified. Two question marks are there. That means untracked files. Now 4 files are there. I want to add this all 4 files to staging area. What command we need to run? Right now these are in working tree. We need to take these files to staging area. What command we need to write?
Push command.
Commit.
In a previous, after we create the files, what command we ran? Add. Add space. File names we need to give. Then those files will take to staging area, green color. But there are 4 files are there. Even 4 files also one after the other I can add. If suppose 1000 files are there means I cannot add one by one, right? So for that we have very beautiful feature called star will be there. Git space add space star. Star we can use. Git space add space. Dot can be used. Git space add space. Minus capital A can be used. Git space add space. File name can be used. This is for single. Git space add space. Like this we can give the space and we can able to add also. Like this many commands are there. So here I'm gonna use git space add space star. Now if I run the command status -s again, can you guys able to see now? M red was there. Now it become capital M green color. But this question marks becomes AA. That means those are in the staging area. Then I can do commit. -m files are in staging area. Then we can commit. This won't show now anything. Then you run the git push command. Go back to GitHub and refresh it. Look at the time period. 90 minutes, 10 minutes, 90 minutes, 10 minutes is there, right? If I refresh, it should show some recent time period. Look at 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago. Correct? Like this, we can able to upload the files. Any questions, guys?
Adding first, then pushing it. No, sir. Correct, no, sir.
First, create the files, add the files, commit the files, push the files.
Correct. Commit and push. Okay.
That's about the short status of the files. Next, ignoring the files. Like some of the extension of the files can be ignored. Okay, those are not required to be shown in the status command. Those are ignored files. Option you will want to have a class of files that you do not want to Git to automatically add or even show you as being tracked or untracked. These are generally generated by the file system automatically. Files such as log files or files produced by the build system. Yeah, like git ignore is a file we can create and we can add some extensions like this. So here you can, the first line tells the git to ignore any files ending with O or ending with A. You can see that here star dot in the bracket OA is there, right? End with O or end with A can be ignored. Like abc.a, abc.b, abc.o, like this extensions can be ignored. Second line tells the git to ignore the files whose name end with a tilde. The symbol you can see second one. So that means now create a file called vi.gitignore. Enter. So here I for insert, I'll add some extensions star dot web, star dot xlsx, star dot kbc, star dot oabc. Devocx. Like this, some extensions can be ignored. Now guys, I'll create some files with these extensions, okay? Look at. Able to see .gitignore and guru.o. These two files are only coming up. Ignore the .gitignore file, but guru.o is coming. But other than that, I created many files. The files are there if I do ls, but those files are not showing in the git list. That is called as ignored. So, okay, then I'll add git is add space star git commit -m ignored files git push. If I run this, then it will be saved. If I go back to here, if I refresh, the files won't come. Only ignore file and guru.o, these two files are came. But other than that, there are no other files. Correct? Any questions, guys, now? If at all you want to create one more file, create new file. Like this, you can create some file and we can run the git pull command here so that you can get that file. If you run the git pull, you'll get that file. See? 14 files are there total. But count doesn't match because hidden files also there. I mean, ignoring files also there, right? That's the reason. Okay. Any questions, guys? This is committing your changes. We know how to commit the changes. Correct. This is the command we'll use to git commit -m message command we'll use to commit the message. Then we the commit history will be there. That we'll see it in the next class. I will show it in tomorrow class. Like how to view the commit history. Like if you make the commits, how we can see that history. That's what we'll discuss in the next class. Okay. If no questions, then we'll wind up today here. We'll catch up in the next class. Cool. Good. Thank you so much.